3 laps to go. Oscar Piastri can see Lando Norris going very slowly down the straight. Oscar Piastri takes the lead of this race, and that was the right thing to do.
Larson in front, Reddick running second. One more time around. And the 41 still isn't moving.
I don't see any way NASCAR lets them race by this.
And there's the caution. Larson's going to do it. Larson is going to win the Brickyard 400.
Alrighty. Welcome in, everybody. Hello. This is the Full Send Half Mast Podcast, episode number 80. Tonight, we're going to be talking about all the races this weekend from Formula One at Hungary. A little bit of drama there to talk about. I can't wait to talk about that with you guys tonight. IndyCar at Toronto. What a great, interesting race that was. We saw some more aerial action out of none other than Santino Ferrucci this week, so I can't wait to talk about that as well. And then also our NASCAR races at Indianapolis for the Brickyard 400 weekend. Boy, did we get an amazing Xfinity race. We'll talk about the Cup race, but damn, that was a good Xfinity race. So we'll talk about all those races with you guys here tonight, as well as our driver and bonehead of the week segments that we do on a weekly basis. Then we'll go over some point standings as we get into the Olympic break. And then we'll preview the race we got this weekend, which is the Formula One Belgian Grand Prix at Spa, and our fantasy lineups for F1. And then we also have a fun segment that we're going to do tonight, which is going to be our bold predictions from the offseason. We're going to go over them. We're about the halfway point of the motorsport season, maybe a little bit beyond. I think this will be a great time for us to recap our, our bold predictions, see how they're holding up or how we did during the offseason, see how many are still in play, and see how many are failed and succeeded up to this point of the season. But first off, Tom's back with me this week here on the podcast. Tom, how you been doing, man?
I've been okay. Got to hang out a little bit with some family, and I have a little bit of a fever right now, but I'm gonna try to hold up because I really enjoyed this weekend of racing, and especially IndyCar. You can't get any better than it, baby. IndyCar's peak.
It was beautiful. It was beautiful, man. I enjoyed every minute of it. I didn't even watch the first half of the NASCAR race because I was watching the IndyCar race. It was so good. I couldn't turn away.
Honestly, if there was like an IndyCar race to rewatch from this season so far, I mean, Toronto is a phenomenal choice.
I would say so too. It was great. I enjoyed every minute of it. I mean, I think, this one, I think, man, what's another good one? I mean, really, this was probably the best race of the year, I think. I don't even know another one that's just as good. I mean, Mid-Ohio was okay, but this was good, man. I enjoyed it. It was theatrics. It was perfect. All right. One thing I want to say, though, Tom, I did do pretty good on my picks this week. I'm not going to lie, dude. I'll talk about that as we start recapping some of these races, but damn, did I do pretty damn good this weekend. All right. First bit of news, Tom, you were saying Audi acquired some new talent.
Yes. Miata Benotto. I don't know. I probably slaughtered it. I don't know. But they hired, or Audi hired him to come run their team when they come back into F1. So they're kicking out Andreas Seidel. I think that's his name. And some other dude. I can't remember. It's posted in the Discord. I'm just too lazy to look. So you guys go read all about that article, but we're gonna see some Italian talent back in F1.
I'm excited, man. I think you said this, now they got Hulkenberg as a driver. They haven't confirmed their second driver yet, but I mean, what does Audi do when they get into motorsports, man? They go big appendage swinging, man. I'm telling you, dude. They're coming in with guns, man. They go and acquire an entire F1 team. They go out and get the best driver, I believe, on the market, which was Hulkenberg at the time. And now they're bringing in some more talent behind the scenes as well. This is looking good, man. I'm excited for Audi, man. This might be the team to pull for here in the upcoming years, because they're going to be. I don't think Audi enters motorsports unless they're going to win, and I think this is a move to go win. I mean, maybe not right away, but they're entering at the right time with a new regulation in 2026. I think it's perfect alignment. Got the best driver, I think, on the market with Hulkenberg. I think this can be amazing. I'm excited for Audi.
Yeah, me too.
All right, and then the other news that you posted as well here, Tom, which kind of confused me, was Devlin DeFrancesco, maybe part ownership, bringing in sponsorship to an existing IndyCar team to run full time next year. Do we have any confirmation on what team that is? I know I kind of speculated with Del Coyne and somebody else, but
it's gonna be Dreyer Reinbold.
You think so?
He's got the money. Dreyer's been wanting to go full time racing for years, and they've got somewhat of a talent, I guess you'd say, with Devlin DeFrancesco. So I mean, yeah, why not? Why? I mean, if I was in his position, I would absolutely look at a team like Dreyer Reinbold to go in full time, especially after they've been public about wanting to go full time.
I mean, it'd be the time to do it, especially if with charter talks are getting closer and closer. I mean, if they're going to stay relevant in the sport, they're going to have to go full time if they're going to even have a chance at something like that. So that's not a bad prediction. I was thinking like Del Coyne, because I mean, Del Coyne's always just kind of Del Coyne. I mean, they're kind of a meme. I figured maybe you
I
would.
mean,
They've got what? How many
unless
drivers have driven for them? Like 10?
yeah, unless like Rick Ware pulls out. I mean, maybe.
Maybe.
But
Yeah.
I because they made it seem like it was going to be a pretty big announcement. And if it's going to be a big announcement, I mean, like, what can get bigger than Dreyer Reinbold going full time again?
Yeah. Or it could be potentially Prima. I mean,
Yeah,
Prima hasn't announced
for
the
sure.
driver at all yet, so
Logan Sargent, baby.
yeah, Logan Sargent, Alexander Rossi. Oh man, actually, now that I say that, that sounds ridiculous. I think you're right. I think it might be Dreyer Reinbold. Oh man. Alrighty. We'll move on to the race recaps this weekend. ARCA Series was racing at IRP this weekend, Indianapolis Raceway Park, for the Circle City 200 on Friday night. William Swalich was on pole. Really, him controlled most of the beginning of the race. LeVar Scott was up there battling as well. Really, the only major incident I want to talk about though is that Lawless Allen, Tony Breidinger crashed with 28 to go. I mean, what do you expect?
I give up.
Yeah, what do you expect? I give up too. What do you expect? And then Zilich, he ends up winning in overtime. Finish there. He was pretty dominant towards the end of this race. I predicted this on the podcast last week. I said Zilich was gonna win, and he did. He did. He got it done.
Hey, did you see that Zilich is gonna run Michigan? I think with the Xfinity cars, or maybe it's ARCA. I can't remember. But he's turning 18, and he's finally going to be able to go to a big track. So, you know, the days of Zilich dominating the short tracks, get ready for the big tracks.
How crazy is that? He can go to Daytona in the IMSA series and win in an LMP2 in the Rolex, but he can't go to Michigan until he's 18 in an ARCA car. How ridiculous is that, NASCAR? Come on, man. You got to take a look in the mirror, bro. He was in a Mazda MX-5 coming like 15 ripping around the Daytona road course. Yeah, oh my God, dude. NASCAR needs to reevaluate some of that crap, dude. That's crazy. But yeah, that's awesome. I'm excited for Zilich, man. He's an exceptional talent. I think he's going to have many, many years of success ahead of him. All right. Truck Series, T-Sport 200. Rajah qualified on pole. Let's see. Eckes wins stage 1 and 2. There was some controversy though between Corey Heim and Christian Eckes. We know that these are the two championship favorites. They made contact there sometime on lap 86. Eckes kind of got into Heim a little bit, took his tire down, and then Heim shows his displeasure with Eckes under caution. And some door banging Eckes, like showing how mad he was. I thought it was awesome, dude. I want more of that drama, dude. That was good, especially considering these are your two championship guys, man. And they know it, obviously. I mean, they know they're battling each other for the championship this year, and they're showing displeasure. I love it.
I think we just found the Austin Hill and Denny Hamlin of the Truck Series right there. And I think this isn't the only instance, if you remember Phoenix last year.
Yes, that's true. That's true. Corey Heim turning into a little bit of a heel. Yep. I'm okay with it at this point. We need a rivalry.
Yeah, it's great. It's great for the Truck Series. I mean, we say it all the time. We need more of this stuff. We need the drivers fighting on the front stretch after the race. You know, octagon, nobody in there helping them. If the crews want to fight, let them fight too. You know, this is great for the sport. NASCAR was built on fighting because the first broadcast ever of a NASCAR race, which was 78?
79? Yeah,
79 Daytona
yeah.
500. And they were all fighting it out on the backs. I mean, that's what it was built on right there. So continue to build it. Let them fight.
I love it, man. I love it.
It's great.
This is going to be great drama, too, going through the playoffs between these two, because they are obviously your two favorite championship favorites. And, like, having the two guys battle for the championship with a little bit of a rivalry going on, it's freaking awesome. Hey, we got Extreme Outside Line. What's up, guys? Well, what's up to you, man? Thanks for tuning in. We appreciate it. We're just talking some racing here on a Tuesday night, like we always do. So thanks for tuning in. Yeah, we're getting into all these cool races, and then we're gonna have a fun segment at the end. So stay tuned. Thanks for joining. So yeah, Eckes Heim rivalry conflict. I love it. Want more of it? Let's get some more action. We got what, 2 more races till the playoffs in the trucks, and then we're gonna get into the grind of the playoffs. And I think that an Eckesheim battle to the end is gonna be warranted, and I'm gonna be here for it. Also at the end of stage 1 during that pit stop, Ty Majeski ended up getting a pit road violation. Had to go to the very back, or no, restart violation. Had to go all the way to the back. What a masterclass drive by Ty Majeski. Drove all the way through the field, back to the front, got to the lead. And then not only when he got to the lead, he ended up pulling a massive gap, dominates the end of this race. Shout out to Ty Majeski, man. We've been waiting to see him kind of break through and have one of these performances for a while now. Like, he's got the pace. I mean, he's been so fast ever since he's been in the truck series. Just never had the consistent pace, it seems, to like be able to do these dominant performances. And he did it this weekend. So hats off to Ty Majeski. That was awesome to watch. Alrighty. Saturday. Tom, oh my goodness, dude. The Xfinity Series race, the Pennzoil 250, man, at Indianapolis. What a freaking race that was. And I'm not even saying just the end of this race, which we'll talk about. But this race had so many layers to it. It was so entertaining. Like, I turned it on, and I was glued to my TV. I could not look away, dude. Like, I was like, dang, I need to do laundry, this and that. But I was like, you know, I can't get up and do anything else right now. I gotta watch this race, dude. It was so good, dude.
Can we just, before we go any further, can we just make the statement now?
Yes.
That the Xfinity Series is peak stock car auto racing of the world.
Facts.
Cup has nothing on it. Truck has nothing on it. ARCA has nothing on it. Any of the Euro Cup, any of the Brazilian Cups, or North American, anything else other than Xfinity has nothing on Xfinity.
I agree.
It is such an amazing package, and it is a damn shame that Cup Series strayed away from that package in 2013. It is a shame.
Yeah.
Anyways,
it's a fact.
I just wanted to make that statement.
No, that
Well,
but you were the
actually,
one
a
that
little bit of
texted me
backstory.
that after the race too, which is awesome. Yeah.
A little bit of backstory. There was a post on X that I commented on that I basically explained that. Man, did I get a lot of hate.
Oh, you will.
I mean, I got like 230 likes on that reply, but like I got like, I don't know, 45 replies of just people being like, how could you say that 3 wide finish at Atlanta? I'm like, all right, obviously you haven't watched a single race in Xfinity all year.
No.
Like, Xfinity is peak. I mean, if you want to see good racing on a week-to-week basis, you watch the NASCAR Xfinity Series and IndyCar and IMSA.
Facts. No, you're true.
That's all you need as a racing fan.
Yeah, those are the best racing series. Yeah, I agree. And it doesn't matter which IMSA series you watch either as well. I mean, you can go watch a Super
Sports car in
Trofeo
general.
race, and it's freaking
Yeah.
amazing. I mean,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah. No, you're right.
Even the production Mustang challenge. Have you seen those races?
Oh, they're freaking amazing, dude.
They're-
They're nuts, dude.
Dude, they're like $100,000 cars max, and these guys just go out there and absolutely beat the shit out of each other. It is so. It's like older brother to MX-5s.
Dude.
And it's just amazing.
It's so good, dude.
Yeah, it is. It's so good.
Well, speaking about MX-5s, dude, I forgot this in the news, dude. They're racing at Martinsville, dude.
Oh yeah.
They're racing in Martinsville with a doubleheader with the Wheel and Modified Tour here, and just the week before the Cup Series goes there for the playoff race. Dude, I am so freaking excited, man.
I might drive there.
Dude, I would, bro. If I lived as close as you do to that track, dude, I'd be driving there tomorrow, dude, just to go watch that, dude. Like, I would have my tickets booked, man. Dude. Not only do you get MX5 Cup, you get the Wheel and Modified Tour Championship race on the same night, doubleheader, dude. Like, that is worth the drive, in my opinion. I think that is freaking awesome, dude. What great scheduling that was, you know? Like, let's put let's put 2 series that are completely freaking different. Let's put them on the same day, back to back, and let it happen. Like, you can't, dude. Whoever decided to do this is a freaking genius, man. This guy deserves a race.
Yeah.
Because nobody else has braids with this guy. I swear to God, that was an A move on his part, dude. I love that. I love it, man. I'm gonna be tuned in on the TV. I don't care what else is racing that day. I don't care if Formula One's racing on the freaking moon. I'm watching that instead. Oh man, that's awesome, dude. That's gonna be some must-watch TV. Alrighty, yeah, let's get into it. Yeah, the Pennzoil 250 Xfinity race. Cole Custer and Riley Herbst qualified on the front row. They were the best two cars in this entire race. We'll just put that out there now. We did have a big wreck on lap 1. Josh Berry, slap of 15 on it, was involved. Sammy Smith, Sam Mayer were all involved in that wreck as well. It was a massive wreck. Took out a lot of people. I think Jesse Love was involved as well. So it was a lot. Chandler Smith, a lot of heavy hitters taken out.
I do want to say one thing. Anybody who thinks that Barry could do better in that car, please just keep it to yourself. Because
yeah, no.
I mean, come on.
Oh,
that's all I gotta say.
They should have just put Brett Moffitt back in the car. I'm not gonna lie. They should have just put Moffitt in.
Homie's at home sitting on the couch right now looking for a ride.
I bet he would do it for free. I really do.
He'd do it a lot cheaper than Joey Logano.
He'd be like, you fly me there. You give me a 15% of the winnings. Like,
yeah,
I'll do it.
Tacos from Tacos and Tequila, man.
Yeah, just give me some tacos and tequila. I'll be good.
Yeah.
I'm with you, man. And then Riley Herbst wins stage 1. Ryan Sieg wins stage 2 off of some strategy. Eric Almirola ends up spinning out with about on lap 67 with about 34 laps to go. I thought his race was done at this point, dude. Like, I was like, dang, Almirola has got a really good car. He was running top 5 basically all day. Looked like he had something to compete with those SHR guys. Gets spun out, had to go to the back. The one caution that really got me, though, with 16 laps to go, Anthony Alfredo hits the wall off of turn 2, and then goes to the inside of the track, gets collected by, I believe, what was it? Retzloff runs into him, which you can't put any blame on Retzloff because there was a car in front of him. He couldn't see anything. Josh Williams gets collected. And then what was it what Jeff Burton was saying? I know, what the heck's his name? Anthony Alfredo. I know Anthony Alfredo. He's a great race car driver. He would never do something like that intentionally. And then they showed the onboard, and he's just turning left. Like, if your car was broken, you'd be trying to turn it, like, right, and it would still be turning left, right?
At least keep it in the wall.
Yeah. Something's fishy there, man. Something's fishy. Something ain't adding up, dude.
Look. There was a lot of failures on a lot of ends, I believe there. I mean, where was Alfredo's spotter at? And then where was Alfredo's spotter? Where was Williams' spotter telling them that there was a wrecked car up ahead? There was a lot that went on. But one thing I do want to say is that wreck during that race was can we just admire the comical nature of that whole wreck that happened?
Dude, it was priceless.
The unfortunate chain of events that happened off of turn 2 just for Retzlaff to just take that 5 car to Browntown was absolutely hilarious. I mean, I was sitting there, I saw it all unfold live, and my jaw hit the freaking floor. I was just, dude, I fell out of my seat. I'm not gonna lie. I was just like, holy crap, man. That's probably the most comical wreck that I have seen live this year.
It's up there for sure, dude. I literally was like, when I watched it happen, I was like, what the hell happened? Like, I didn't realize what happened. I was just trying to figure it out and process it. And then the replays come in, and I'm like, listen to Jeff Burton gaslight me. I'm like, I don't know, something's weird here. And then they show the onboard. It just that's when I was like, I don't know about that, man. I don't know, dude. I don't know. He had the wheel to the left. That looked like he was trying to get to the inside of the track. But nonetheless, it ruins all 3 of their runs that they were having during that race. And then let's talk about the final laps of this race, right? After that caution, we had our final restart of the race with about like 11 to go. Custer just checks off. He's gone. Riley Herbst, it looks like his race is falling apart. He's back to like P3, I think. He has to move Almirola out of the way to get by into P2. And then, like, he makes a mistake with like 5 to go, I think it was, and lost a bunch of time that he had gained. I was like, the race is over, man. Riley Herbst just screwed himself out of this win. And then all of a sudden, I don't know what happened. I don't know if a light got lit under this man, or if he just saw the second coming of Christ, or what happened there, but he just straight up turned up the wick, man. He puts that thing into like another gear, and he starts eating at this lead, man. Like he was taking 3-4 tenths of a second out per lap. Gets there on the white, coming to the white, goes to the inside. They're side by side, slows them both down. Almirola goes around the outside. Looks like he's gonna steal the damn race. He's gone into the lead. Herbst finally gets by Custer. Then he gets to Almirola in turn 3, moves him out of the way, gets by him, wins the race. Unbelievable finish, dude.
That turn 4 drive that Riley Herbst had, he was sideways, passing Almirola for the win in the final corner. That was insane. That was some driving talent. That's probably the most display of driver talent that we've ever seen out of Riley Herbst to win that race. That was awesome. That was great to see. That was so much fun to watch. Those closing laps, man, put that in a highlight reel for the year of 2024.
That was nuts, man. I was maybe a little bit of a doubter on Riley Herbst coming into this race, or basically the last few years. I know he had that win at Vegas. It was a good job there. But I've still just kind of been on the fence with him. I've seen him have a couple good runs at the Super Speedways in the Cup Series. I don't know how much stock to put into that. But any doubt I have in Riley Herbst going into this race, they're all gone now. I think Riley Herbst legitimately can get it done if in the right scenario or the right circumstances in the top echelons of NASCAR, the top echelons of stock car racing. And the Xfinity Series is the top echelon, and the display, not only against an Xfinity Series champion and a multi-winning, multi-year careered Cup Series driver, what he did in those final 10 laps, that's freaking amazing, man. I got a lot of respect to Riley Herbst after that race. That was peak Xfinity, man. That is Xfinity racing. And people that watch that race that don't watch Xfinity races are like, holy cow, what a great race. It's like, what the hell have we been telling you for the last 16 months, man? If you aren't watching the Xfinity races, you're robbing yourself out of racing, man. Like, I don't know. But then, I don't know. You got all these people that are just so convinced that the Cup Series is this elite series, this great freaking series. I think Xfinity's better. I think the driver pool's better. I think the cars are better. The racing's better. The strategies are better. It's just better. It is. I mean, honestly, if somebody came to me tomorrow and was like, you're going to be a NASCAR driver, and like I got my pick of where I wanted to race, I'd race Xfinity for my whole career, man. I'd be a Ryan Sieg or a Justin Allgaier, dude. Like, it's the best racing. And those cars are hard to drive. They got more power than the Cup cars. They got tires that actually wear 95% of the races. They actually have a tire good enough to wear so that we see fall off in time differences. And the races are perfect, and they're shorter. So, like, you're not sitting in front of your TV for 4 hours to watch 6 overtime finishes and freaking 35 laps under caution. It fits in a time window. It's this quick little Saturday venture before you go do whatever other things you got to do on a Saturday. It's perfect. Perfect package, man. I love it, dude. I think it's the best. Peak Motorsports. I enjoyed the hell out of that race, dude. I want more of it, dude. We had people talking about it that don't even talk about racing talking about it, dude. How good it was, dude. It was so good, dude. I enjoyed the hell out of it. I'm excited for the next race. I'm always excited for the Xfinity races. They're so great. Alrighty, I'll quickly touch over Formula 2 real quick. For sure, he ends up winning the sprint race at the Budapest sprint race for the Formula 2. Antonelli did get by him on lap 4, but he ended up having a lockup late in that race, ended up losing the lead back to Versure, and Versure ends up winning. There was one moment in that sprint race that was freaking awesome, though. It was Behrman, Carrera, and Crawford. They went 3 wide for like 4 corners straight, dude. It was absolutely freaking insane, dude. Dude, what did I witness, dude? They were wheel banging, giving each other room, squeezing each other, and they went 3 wide for 20 seconds. It was insane. I lost my mind watching that, dude. It was crazy. I was like, this is peak right here. That was probably the best Formula 2 race we've seen all year, dude, to be honest with you. That was freaking amazing. I mean, granted, it was for like ninth, but it was awesome. It was a great entertainment. I enjoyed the hell out of that. And then on Sunday for the Grand Prix, we had Bryce Aaron qualifying pole. He ends up falling back to like 8th before they even get to like turn 1. Victor Martins ended up taking the lead there at the initial start. Looked like he was going to sell off to victory. We did see a safety car on lap 22 with a Cordeal crash. Aaron ended up getting into Maloney on lap 7. He had some issues there. It was just a bad race for him from starting on pole. But then Antonelli ends up getting to the lead past Victor Martins, I believe, with like 2-3 to go, and redeems himself for that lockup that he had in the sprint race and ends up getting a victory. And I know you've heard the rumblings, Tom, but it sounds like Antonelli might be the next Formula One driver here shortly. And the thing is there's so many better drivers in front of him too. But it's all about money, man. Money and name recognition, dude. Kimi Antonelli just sounds like a freaking F1 driver name, so that's why they'll put him in there. I mean, to be honest.
Yep.
Yeah, so I think we'll see Kimi Antonelli in Formula 1 here very shortly, but he finally gets some type of victory in Formula 2 at Budapest. All right. Let's do it. Let's talk about the Hungarian Grand Prix for Formula 1. What a weird race this was, right? So the initial start, Piastri was on the front row with Norris, who was your pole sitter. Piastri got a better start to the inside. He takes the lead into turn 1. Norris and Verstappen having a little bit of dispute there as Verstappen felt like Norris opened the wheel up on him, forced him wide. Lando was a little frustrated. He fell back to like P3 because I think Hamilton leaped him through that sequence as well. Piastri goes off to basically build a pretty big lead in this race. Where the controversy begins here, though, is on lap 48 with the final pit stop sequence. Or I guess it was lap 46, I believe it was. Lando Norris running P2. Hamilton's closing. And McLaren decides, let's pit Lando, give him the preferred strategy over Piastri, which never happens, right? Like, it never happens. If there's a driver leading the race, they give him the preferred strategy over the second place guy. Never happens that they gave Lando the preferred strategy. So I'm mad because this looks like Piastri's first career win in a race he deserves, and they give Lando the preferred strategy like they always do because it's Lando's the golden boy, and so they give Lando the preferred strategy to cut off, to do the undercut to make sure that Hamilton doesn't leap him. And they end up giving Piastri the bad strategy. So Lando leaps Piastri in this whole sequence and gets the lead. I mean, am I wrong by saying this never happens where the lead driver at a team gets preferred strategy? Why did Lando get preferred strategy here? Besides the fact that they're trying to get the 1-2 finish.
Why did he get? Well, he got it because he's the golden boy. That's why he got it. Wait, well, I mean, we all know that. I mean, did it surprise me when I was watching it? No, not really.
It didn't surprise me either, but it pissed me off.
I mean, it wasn't right. I mean, well, at the end of the race, we saw what happened, but still, I mean, I don't know. I think McLaren's quickly turning into Ferrari.
Oh, 100%. Oh, 100%. Or even Mercedes. I mean, we saw this with Bottas and Hamilton several times. Where they gave
Rosberg too.
I think that's what forced Rosberg in early retirement. I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah.
He was like, I have no other prospects anywhere else, and I'm not getting the help I need at Mercedes. I'm just gonna dip. Yeah. So yeah, that ultimately led to Lando leaping Piastri. They both stayed ahead of the Mercedes. And then Verstappen and Hamilton end up having some contact there. Oh my God, can we talk about how dramatic Max Verstappen was this race, man? He knows he is putting this car on his back and carrying it, and he is a crybaby routine, man. Out of Max Verstappen, I would never expect this to be a Max Verstappen's mentality.
Yeah, and not to deflect a lot at all, but Max Verstappen and Lando Norris were on a whole new level this race of just crybaby. the whole race, Max was on the radio yelling at his team.
The whole time.
After the race, Lando Norris was just an absolute clown on what he was saying, not only to his team and how he acted towards his teammate, but also towards competitors like Lewis Hamilton in the cool down room. I mean, it was just sometimes at the time I felt like I was watching an episode of Rugrats or something. I mean, that was
Real
just,
Housewives.
yeah. I mean, it was just a bunch of babies is what I was watching. Now that contact with Hamilton, that was 100% on Max Verstappen.
Oh, 100%.
I mean, he just absolutely. I mean, he went in there. He knew he screwed up because he just locked it all up, and then caught the right front wheel of Hamilton, and he almost became NASA certified, and and then continued on with his race. But I mean, it was just it fell apart, and I think I just thinking about this, Jay. I think that Max Verstappen knows that he's carrying the team, and he's becoming salty because Perez is not doing a damn thing to help that team.
Yes.
And I get. I would feel like if I was in Max's position, I'd probably feel the same way. He's gone through how many teammates, and all of those teammates weren't able to help him. I mean, we're talking Albon, Perez. Who was the other driver? There was another one. Or maybe there wasn't. I don't know.
Ricardo, Albon, Perez.
Yeah, there was Ricardo. Yeah.
That's all I could think of right now.
Well, anyways, I'd probably feel the same way, but I think that everything really came to a head in the middle of that race for Verstappen, and he just lost it.
Yeah. Yeah, I agree. I mean, I thought I was listening to Lewis Hamilton's radio for a minute there. Like that is the most Lewis Hamilton response. I mean, I couldn't believe the best part about it though. The engineer on Max Verstappen's team, dude, Max is in his bitchy crybaby mood, and the engineer just said, "Shut up." Basically, I'm paraphrasing. He basically just said, "Shut up. You're being childish." Yeah. I thought that was mint, dude. I loved it. I was like, that's what I want to hear, man. Like, at some point, you can keep bitching, or you can just put your head down and go to race. And 99% of the time, Verstappen puts his head down and goes and races. I mean, this is the 1% of the time that he bitch, and I don't even know if they knew how to react to it because they've never heard him moan and complain like that before. I mean, that was crazy. That was nuts. But yeah. So after that, though, Hamilton continues on at P3. Lando's leading the race, and they just continually getting team orders to him, telling him to give the lead back to Piastri. Hey, Lando, we don't win championships without your team, without Piastri. Like, give him the position back, which I thought was warranted because they really did screw Piastri out of this win. 100% screwed him out of it. They gave him a terrible strategy compared to Lando, in hopes to stay ahead of the Mercedes, which I don't even think they had to do that to begin with, Tom, because their pace was so much better than the Mercedes in this race. So I don't understand why they did it to begin with. But then Lando to go out and just completely whine and moan about it, to give Piastri the spot back, and then the way he reacted after the race, didn't even really congratulate Piastri. He just like basically pouted and moaned and whined at the fights. Yeah, it was. Come on, man. Yeah. So Piastri wins. Yeah, get over yourself. Exactly. So Piastri ends up winning the race, which I'm freaking stoked about because we'll talk about that when we get to the next segment that we have here tonight. Because, yeah, Tom might have foreseen the future here on this one. But yes, I'm just gonna say I picked Piastri to win last week. I think I picked Piastri like 6 of the last 8 weeks to win a Formula One Grand Prix. Finally did it, man. Finally did it. Holy cow! I was so happy for him. It kind of sucks that it had to be in the way that it was, though. I mean, because you could tell he was like disappointed in the way he won this race. He's like, I didn't really win this race, but he's like, I should have won the race. It's like, how do you celebrate that? You don't. I mean, and they're like, oh, that's just his personality. I'm like, no, I don't know, man. I watched him win that sprint race last year, and he was over the moon with how he did about that performance. And this was like stoic, man. He was just like, I don't know, man. I feel bad for Oscar Piastri being put in that position. And then Oh man, then we got into the Lando fanboy crybaby session on the internet. Everybody's saying Formula One's rigged, it's fake, it's this and that, and Lando should have won that race. Do we not even try anymore in F1? And it's like, you know who's saying this? It's those casual US freaking F1 fans that don't watch F1. That's who's saying it. It's the Lando fans. The Lando fans are annoying. They're the Elliott fans. They're the Lulu fans. They're the Haley Deegan fans. They're the Pato Award fans. They're the same. They're all the same.
Manchester United. You guys are cancer.
The Lakers, the
Yeah,
Yankees,
the Lakers.
the Cowboys. I mean, they're all the same. They're all the same.
It's
The Alabama
they do a
Bama
really-
Mans.
Yeah, right. They do a really good job of spreading the cancer too.
Goodness gracious, man. That was what was frustrating to me because I think that was justified. And then you see the tinfoil hats coming out, man. Holy cow. You know how many people have gotten on us on this channel for our conspiracy moments or conspiracy takes? But yet everybody in the moon this weekend got up on the freak. Not just F1 fans. It goes to NASCAR too, and we'll talk about that. Everybody's throwing on their tinfoil hats. There's conspiracy in motorsports now, and it's like the stuff that we were saying, you guys bagged on us for, and now you guys are seeing this stuff, and now you're calling it conspiracies. And what is going on? I mean, I could point to so many different moments about conspiracies in motorsports and stuff that's been rigged where I got laughed at and ridiculed. So, like, I don't want to hear your crap, man. I don't want to hear it. This was not a conspiracy at all. This is reality, okay? This is real life. This is real. The sky is blue. Oh, man. All right, one before we get back to the F race, we got next sim racing. That's Steven in the chat. He's got the money and somewhat talent to get into F1. Oh, he must be talking about Kimi Antonelli. Yeah, that's F1 for you. All right, so podium for Hungary, Lando Norris P2 behind Piastri, who wins, and then Hamilton P3, and then George Russell does get the fastest lap. Let's talk about the point standings now. So Lando's cut the points gap down to Verstappen down to 76, and Leclerc is 103 points back in third. And the constructors, McLaren's closing that gap even more. And I think this goes to your point, Tom, about Max Verstappen being frustrated because Perez isn't helping him at all. And it's proven right here in the constructors constructor standings, which is proof, live data, factual information that McLaren has cut this gap down to 51 points behind Red Bull, and Ferrari is 67 points behind Red Bull in third. So, yes, I think that, well, actually, I know it is in our segment coming up, so we'll talk about that here in a minute. But I don't know, man. I don't know if Red Bull's going to pull this off. What are we at the halfway point of the season now? And it's closing up. I mean, people are bitching about the 7 points that Lando lost in this race. They're like, Lando's going to lose the championship by less than 7 points now because of that damn race in Hungary. Where the hell is Hungary anyway? I'm not hungry. I'm starving. Like, these people, man. It's crazy to me, dude. Oh, man. All right, next is sim racing. Team motors have always been a thing in F1 since the beginning. We have seen it so many times. Yes, we've seen it forever. If you're in a race and you have two cars on the same team and one has a position higher than the other, the higher position teammate is going to get the preferred strategy. It happens every single race. People are just worried about it because it was Lando and it happened to be for the win. That's the only reason people are mad about it. Is there anything else you want to talk about Formula One, dude? I mean, what a race weekend it was in F1 with the drama, dude. I mean, this F1 season's been nuts. 7 winners already this year. Nuts.
Yeah. When was the last time we had that?
2012, like the greatest F1 season of all time.
Are we seeing that now?
I mean,
Seeing that?
it's going to be interesting. Do we see more than the 7 winners we have now? I think the 7 guys I could have pointed at to win a race are one. The only other one I would say has the opportunity to potentially win is Perez, but it's Perez, so I don't see him winning. I think we met all of our winners this year. I think those are the 7. Unless some crazy crap happens and Haas finds a victory, which it's not out of the realm of possibility. No, we still got Monza, we still got Spa, we still got 2 of the crown jewels left.
Yeah, Monza's a wild card.
And Vegas is turning into a wild card as well. With what we saw last year, holy cow.
Yeah.
Vegas could be a wild card.
Absolutely.
I'm trying to think of what else.
If it's Monza, you could put in. I think you could put in Yuki Tsunoda.
Yeah, that was the other one I was gonna say. Besides Hulkenberg, Yuki Tsunoda might be the other one that can win. Those buy one get one frees are quick on the straight lines, man. They are really quick in straight line speed, dude. And Monza is all about straight line speed. Shoot, we could see him do pretty good this weekend at Spa. I'm actually really excited to see. I think that, well, a little bit of a little spoiler, but that might be my bold prediction for this weekend.
Yeah, it should be. It should be a bold prediction, right?
Yeah,
now
or my dark horse. Yeah.
Dark horse. Sorry.
Yeah.
It should be. Tsunoda is the ultimate dark horse right now.
I agree.
I mean,
him and Hulkenberg, I think, are your 2 ultimate dark horses, and I think Tsunoda is in a better car, and I think he's really turning up right now.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's a shame that he didn't get the second Red Bull over Perez.
Yes. But with Hulkenberg, I think the only thing that's going to hold him back a lot more than Tsunoda is Haas. And that's it, honestly.
Yeah. Yeah, and how much are they willing to put into the rest of the development on this car for the rest of the season, considering that they're losing Hulkenberg? Magnussen's already out. I mean,
yeah.
Like, how much... Like, I feel like the best we've seen of Haas might be behind us for the rest of the season. I don't know. Yeah. We'll see. We'll see. Steven says, we literally saw Rubens pull over and stop to let Michael by so he could take the points lead. Yeah, no, 100%. We've seen it happen many times in Formula 1. Yeah. I think we saw it. I think that was what happened at the Spanish Grand Prix that one year when, or was it the Spanish Grand Prix? The year where Hamilton and Rosberg ended up wrecking, where they told Rosberg to give the lead up to Hamilton and he wasn't going to do it. Barcelona. Yeah, it was Spanish Grand Prix. And he ended up Hamilton ran over the back of Rosberg in frustration. Yeah. We've seen it a lot in F1. Yes. Alrighty. Let's talk about the IndyCar race, Tom. What a race this was, man. I enjoyed the hell out of this. I was glued to the TV, just like I was with the Xfinity race. I was just glued. Herta was on pole. Kirkwood was P2. So really, they were going to control this race no matter what. It felt like, unless their strategies got off, we got a weird ill-timed caution, which didn't seem to happen. But we had that crash on lap 1. Rasmussen ended up having issues. Ferrucci ends up TKO in the wall, rips out the front wing. I am beside myself at this, watching this. How the hell did he not get front end damage and wheel damage, dude? Like, he absolutely pile drove the wall. And they just put a new wing on and he's good to go again. I'm like, how the hell is that even possible? I mean, in hindsight, if he had a time machine, he probably would have told him to park it, which we'll talk about here in a second. But unbelievable that happened there, Tom. I couldn't believe it.
Yeah, unbelievable, honestly.
Grace of God. That's all I can say. Oh, man. And then and then after that, we get another caution on lap 5 with Canapino crashing. I can't remember who it was to the inside of him at the time. I'm trying to think back.
Wasn't it Power?
Yes, it was Willpower. Yeah. Willpower was the inside of it, made contact with Canapino, sent him up into the wall. I mean, we'll talk about more with Willpower. I'm kind of frustrated with Willpower after this race.
He had a bad race.
Yeah, he was
a really bad race.
He was kind of a menace. He kind of it channeled his inner LaJoy Dozer Model 7 this weekend. Alrighty. And then after that, we get another restart. We finally get into a long stretch here of green flag racing, strategies playing out. McLaughlin, let's talk about him starting on a set of used greens at the beginning of this race. Absolutely dropped like a rock, lost 8-10 seconds to the leaders, lost 3-4 positions. It proved to be that the black tires were the preferred tire in this race. The greens just didn't last very long. So he not only was he on a tire that didn't last very long, he was on a tire that was worn that didn't last very long. So he ends up bailing on it like lap 18. He's on a complete alternate strategy compared to the leaders. We see Newgarden, Rosenquist up there in the front trying to challenge, maybe close up on the Andretti cars. Didn't really materialize for them. Herta was just on another level, and Kirkwood played an A-plus teammate in my opinion on those restarts. He was always lagging back, giving Herta a little bit of a distance there to continue on, which was great teamsmanship, I think. Take a lot of discipline to do that for your teammate. But then the drama begins, right? With 18 to go, we saw Kiffin Simpson pull an identical crash as what we saw Alexander Rossi pull in practice on Friday. Ends up hitting the wall at it looked the exact same. I mean, you put them side by side, same wreck. It was crazy. Rossi, though, unfortunately, ends up hurting his wrist in the scenario. Simpson looked like he climbed out just fine. But after that, it set up a chain reaction of events that were absolutely magical's not the right word, because it wasn't magical. It was like, what happened? Like, what is going on right now? And it all begins with 13 to go on that restart. Paddle Ward running in 6th, getting a great point stay, continuing to stay in this championship fight, ends up backing it into the wall and collects Ericsson. And then next thing you know, the rest of the field's coming by. Here goes, what was it? Pietro runs over his front wing, gets aerial. He lands. Then here comes old Santino, old Ferrucci. He lines up with that wing. It looked like an absolute ramp takeoff aerial projectile, man. Goes aerial. His car goes sideways, piles into the fence, lands on his roof. I mean, or on his windscreen. Unbelievable, dude. I couldn't believe it, dude.
Yeah. We might as well start calling the drivers of AJ Foyt Racing Elton John, because they know how to channel their inner market, man.
That is perfect, dude.
Dude,
Yeah, because last week it's Stingray Rob
it's
certified.
Stingray. Yeah. Elton John.
Oh, man. Are they putting rocket
Elton
fuel in
John
these
and
cars?
Elton John Jr. Yeah.
Oh, man. I was
He even managed that.
shocked.
Seriously, I mean, like, he got like 7, 8, 9 foot of air off of a front nose. I mean, that was just insane.
It was nuts, man.
There's nobody else in the field that you could count on to do that
No,
at all.
not a soul. No. Only Santino. Oh, man. That was insane, dude. And when it happened live, I was like, oh my God, he's going to get hurt. And then in Santino fashion, he crawls out of that damn sumbee. He gets out and he's like, yeah, woo. He's like taking his gloves off and just walking around strutting his stuff like he's a badass and he just landed on the moon or something, dude. It was nuts what his reaction was.
Yeah, why don't we just tub another car for the most poorest team in IndyCar? How about we do that? And then let's celebrate.
Oh, man. And then he goes on social media and posts a clip of him with the song Freebird playing in the background of his onboard. Clownery.
It's so bad.
If I was AJ Foyt, dude, I'd fine him, dude. What are you doing? You're just making us look like a bunch of jackasses, dude.
It actually reminded me of St. Petersburg 2023.
Yeah.
Opening lap coming through turn 3, and just everybody goes airborne. And then here comes, I don't even remember the damn driver, but I actually
Might have been.
Stingray?
Was it? Maybe it was Devlin.
No.
Wasn't
No,
Devlin
who
the
was-
one that was
who
aimed
was
at the
in
sky?
last? Who was in last? Who
Yeah, it would have.
hit that?
That was Stingray. That was Stingray.
Was it Stingray?
Yeah, it was.
Dude, he
Stingray.
was like freaking 15 seconds after the wreck, and he comes
Yeah.
piling in. I mean, that's just so AJ Foyt Racing typical.
So all you're saying is Haley Deegan might be able to have an IndyCar career after
No, let's not go that far.
all.
Let's not.
Oh, man. And then, yeah, so they get that wreck finally cleaned up after red flag. They get it going again. And yeah, with 9 to go, guess Will Power decides to send it in on his teammate Scott McLaughlin, ends up punting him into the wall, so Scotty's out of the race with a DNF. Did Will Power end up getting a penalty off of that? They end up giving him a grid spot or a spot penalty.
Drive through.
That's what it was. Yeah, which was warranted. I mean, they're both in contention to win this championship, or they were prior to this race, and the positions they're running ahead of Pat Pillow, they were gonna gain points on him, and then Power decides to do something stupid like take his teammate out. What the hell is wrong with Will Power, man? Last week he ends up or 2 weeks, whenever they raced at Iowa last, the night race, he ends up running over Pietro on a restart. What the hell was that? And then he runs over his teammate this week. Is Will Power losing it or something? Is he need to get some mental evaluation before the next race?
Yeah.
What the hell? Oh, I was angry. I mean, I got up to go to the bathroom and I come back and Scotty's in the wall. And I'm like, what the frick happened? I'm like, did his car break? Like, did he mess up? And then they show the replay and I'm like, of course it's freaking Will Power. He's got no leeway because he ends up freaking punting Pietro last week. What was that? I don't know, man. That really freaking frustrated the hell out of me. But what are you gonna do? And then the end of the race, Herta, he ends up winning. They said, cool stat though, Tom, at the end of this race, Colton Herta is the first driver in IndyCar history to lead every single session of an entire weekend in IndyCar. Fastest in FP1,
what do you call
P2
that,
qualifying. A sweep?
A hat trick?
Yeah, I'd call it a sweep. Hat trick? Yeah, hat trick works. Yeah.
But
Practice
yeah, that's
qualifying
insane.
race.
That has never happened before. Not even with the GOAT.
Yeah.
Not even with the GOAT. The GOAT has never done that.
Crazy. And not only that, he breaks a 41 race winless streak they're saying, or 40 race winless streak.
Yeah.
So, what is it? We've been saying Herta, man, all year. We're like, yeah, and Herta, he can win races. Like Herta, I swear, he could be leading this championship right now if he just had better luck for one. The way the ill-timed caution happened at Iowa, that's one example. And also the Road America, he would have been on pole there if Newgarden didn't put in the wall. He didn't even get a chance to record his final lap there to put him on the pole. Ends up getting involved in that lap 1 wreck. He's back. Like, luck has just not been on his side. And then making stupid mistakes like climbing out of the car at Indianapolis 500. Like, what a weird season Colton Herta is having. Like, you can't even make this up. All this incidents that have happened to derail him this season. You can't make it up. This is real. This is factual. This is actually happening.
Yeah.
This is documentary stuff right here. Especially if he comes back and wins the championship. If he does that, this will be the craziest championship comeback rally of all time. I don't think anything would top it.
It's possible. Anything can happen.
He's still within. Systems. Yeah. He's still within like 50 points. And we still got 6 races to go. I mean, he's got ample amount of time to close this up. So, crazy. Crazy to me. All right. Points. Alex Palou, okay, never mind. He's more than 50 points. Because Palou is your points leader, 49 over Power, 53 over Award. And I believe Herta, I think, is in P4 in points. McLaughlin P5. Or, no, Dixon's P4. Herta P5. McLaughlin P6, if I remember right. So, all of them are within 100 points. So, it's not over. I mean, Palou could have one bad race, and it could close it all back up. So, or 2 bad races.
57 points behind.
Yeah, that's still in contention with 6 races to go. I mean, I think if you're within 80 points right now, I think you're still in contention.
Yeah.
So, yeah, it's going to be an interesting battle to the end in IndyCar. Like it always is, man. It always is. I'm excited to see how this goes. I'm excited to see what's the next race? Gateway or Worldwide or whatever? Yeah, it's going to be interesting to see what happens there. That'll be after the Olympic break. I think the 19th of July is the next race there. So, big long break for IndyCar during the Olympics. But then when they get back, we'll see how that all plays out. All right. Is there anything else you want to add to the IndyCar race this weekend? Or IndyCar races? Or race, yeah.
Peak.
Yes. I agree, man. I think Toronto's an amazing race. I mean, last year's race was
always
amazing. This race is amazing.
I mean, if you were to watch one IndyCar race a year, other than the Indy 500, and just from my personal perspective, Indy Toronto is always a good race. Always. You will always have drama. You will always have wrecking. You will always have a good finish. There has never been a time where Indy Toronto was boring.
I'd say that about all street courses. I mean, I think St. Pete's always entertaining every year. I think Long Beach is always fun. Toronto's good. Detroit, I'm excited to see it next year. I mean, this year might not have been that great in a lot of people's eyes.
There's a lot of drama, though.
But there was a lot of drama, exactly. Street racing and IndyCar is a match made in heaven. Like, honestly, if we could get rid of like 4 of the oval races and go race on more street races around the country, that would be freaking awesome. Imagine them at Vegas, and then let's go take them to Chicago. Let's run them Miami. Yeah, take them to go run those street races and let's see what happens, man. Let's have some more street races in IndyCar. That's my petition for next year, or for not next year, the schedule's decided, but the year after. Less ovals, more street and road courses. Let's do it.
Yeah.
Alrighty. All right. It's time to talk about it. Oh, the Brickyard 400. Reddick on pole. Dominated stage 1 until the end, and Hamlin ended up getting the stage win through some strategy. Brad Keselowski, Chase Elliott got some pit lane blend violations where they had to do a pass through. Looked like it hampered both of their races, but they end up recovering. We had a caution, lap 74. Byron and Burton end up getting hooked by Priest. It looked like a Y being formed because Priest tried to shove it in there 3 wide in the middle. Didn't work out for any of them. I think they collected AJ Allmendinger in that as well. That was a massive wreck. And then Bubba, he ends up winning stage 2 on strategy. Let's talk about the drama between Bubba and Logano, though. When Bubba's going down the back straightaway, throws that massive block on Logano, almost forces him off the track down the back straightaway. And then Logano goes on the radio and says, "That's his one. Next time I'm wrecking as I." I'm like, dude, that's peak. I loved it, dude. Oh man! And then he gets up. They knew what was gonna happen because Logano pulls up right next to Bubba during the yellow, and the camera just completely went away from it because they knew they were gonna see Logano's middle finger up at Bubba. Dude, I hate the censorship, man. I wanted to see it so bad. They just knew. Oh man. I think it's fair game on Bubba, though. I mean, honestly, what have we always said on this channel, Tom, since the beginning? You're always allowed 1 block. He only made 1 block. Fair game, dude. You're allowed a block. Everybody's allowed a block. I don't care what it is. You're allowed a block. When it gets to 2 to 3 blocks, no. That crap is not okay in motorsports. That's how people get hurt and that's how people die. So, yeah. But 1 block, I mean, that's all he did. He just moved down as far to the left as he could, and Logano just decided to lift instead of going further down to the left. I mean, what are you gonna say?
Sounds mad to me.
Yeah, that's just angry. Yeah. There's nothing Bubba did wrong, and I know a lot of people on social media will probably disagree with that and be like, "Oh, he's Bubba what? You hate that guy." Well, get over yourself.
Mad.
Yeah, stay mad. Stay mad. That's all I can say. Yeah. All right. I don't even know where else to go. Oh, Carson Hocevar doing Carson Hocevar things again. He ends up wrecking Logano, and then old Jim Jam ends up getting into the wall. Why is he still racing? Why is Jimmy Johnson still racing?
Hey, he actually was doing pretty good. Okay,
I give him that.
Like when the other races, except for what was it, Kansas, where he was doing pretty good too.
Yeah, well, the LaJoy dozer. Yeah, the LaJoy dozer. God, that one.
I mean, it's like every time he's having a good run and has an opportunity to turn around all of his other previous doings, somebody just absolutely kills him. And then all the other times where he just looks like a clown, he gets to finish the race.
Yeah. Well, he got what? He got taken out at Coda last year, and we were like clowning him on that. And then he ends up getting taken out by the LaJoy Dozer this year, and now he gets taken out by Hocevar. The 600, he took himself out.
Yeah.
Trying to think of what other races he's ran. It doesn't matter. It's Jim Jam. He's just
It's
out
Jim
there for the
Jam, baby.
publicity. Yeah.
Yep.
And then the end of this race, we got a weird circumstances, right? Strategy played out. Final caution after that big wreck there, it kind of leveled out and everybody was going green from there on out at the final stage. We had, what was it, Keselowski? Or no, that was to end stage. No, that was after stage 2. I'm trying to remember. I'm getting all these things mixed up in my head. No, so then we had that caution with Truex, right? During the final pit sequence strategy. Larson, Elliott, Bowman, Chastain, Nemechek. There was a bunch of them that pitted right there at that lap because they were going to make it to the end of the race on that final stop. But then Truex ended up wrecking right during the middle of that pit sequence before everything cycled back around. And it set up basically a final stint to the checker where everybody could have enough fuel to make it to the end, minus Brad Keselowski, who they were saying was going to run out of fuel. What craziness we saw. Blaney decided to run behind Keselowski to save some fuel so that he could ensure that he could make it to the end. Keselowski, they assumed was going to run out. I think Keselowski probably assumed he was going to run out. I think everybody watching assumed Keselowski was going to run out. The broadcasters assumed he was going to run out. I think God was watching it too, and he knew Brad was going to run out, but it just didn't seem to happen, dude. He just continued to lead, blocking Blaney. Blaney couldn't get by him. And late in this race, Keselowski's leading. Blaney's running P2. And let's talk about Larson here, because this is what's going to lead us into our final points of this talking point, right, Tom? Where was Larson, like, at the end of this race with, like, 30, 40 to go after the Truex caution? He was one of the guys that pitted. He was buried in, what, like, 22nd, 24th, something like that? Way back there. Way back in the field. Like, his race was over. And then he ends up putting a masterclass together driving through the field. He passed everybody. I mean, it was crazy. He gets up to P3 behind Blaney with probably 8-9 to go. And it looks like the race is over, man. It looks like, is Brad going to run out? I mean, what were you thinking, Tom? Did you think Brad was going to make it legitimately to the end? I mean, I was in shock what he was doing.
No. I didn't. I was hopeful, but I mean, deep down inside, no. There's no way.
I don't know, man. I was like, when it got closer and closer to the end, when they got like the 4 to go and he was still running, I was like, holy crap, dude. Brad Keselowski is going to steal another win. Holy cow. He is going to do it. Off of just complete sheer strategy, determination, and luck. He's going to find a way to win this race. And then we have a caution with 3 to go. Changed the whole complexion of the race. Oh, KFB. Oh, KFB. What's wrong with KFB, man? How many times is he going to wreck this year, dude? KFB is having a terrible year. Is he going to go winless? I think so. I'm convinced.
Yeah.
It's over.
I'm convinced too.
Oh my
Absolutely.
goodness. At this point, if I was that team, I would just build the most cheating up freaking car I could to take to Daytona. I swear to God, dude. Like, where else is he going to win? Nowhere. It's over for him, man. It sucks. But this is where the controversy begins, because we're going to get a restart, green white checkered. And right before we get the green, Brad Keselowski pulls off of pit road, and Kyle Larson inherits the bottom of the front row. We get the restart. Now we should talk about that, Tom. Because before we got into this podcast tonight, you brought up a great point. I think you should bring that back up on this podcast about Kyle Larson, who gets to control the race on that restart, what has been protocol, consistency, and so on.
Well, I mean, I'm a little confused myself, to be honest with you, because what's the rule? What's the leader fires first, right? I mean, that's the rule. So who is the leader? Because Keselowski pulled off, and went down pit road. The whole inside lane shifts forward. Or does it? Or should it? Is Blaney the leader now? Or is Larson the leader now? All right. I don't think a lot of that matters now, since we saw the restart. To me, both the drivers jumped at the same time, and that's fine. But moving forward, wouldn't it be more of a wouldn't it be more governable if you say, like, the leader needs to cross the start finish line first? If that doesn't happen, then that's the penalty. It's a little more consistent, in my opinion, instead of just visually looking at it, because people can have opinions about that. You really can't have an opinion if the fact is right in front of your face stating that this driver crossed the start finish line first or not. Right? But it also brings up a point of, well, didn't we used to have that when the leader had to cross the start finish line first?
Yeah, pre-restart zone, that was the rule. Yes.
Because I kind of remember it being in like Gen 6 times, Gen 5 times. Maybe not. I could be wrong. I don't know.
I don't remember Gen 6, but I do remember Gen 5.
Because I remember it for some reason. I really do, and I just can't pinpoint. But you can make everything so subjective to these restarts here. At first I was like, yeah, Larson definitely jumped that restart. And then I went back and looked at it, and I was like, yeah, they kind of fired it at the same time. And then they posted SMT data. And what the SMT data said was that Blaney was in second gear, Larson was in first gear. And that they launched at the same exact time, and it showed, not at the same exact, I mean, Larson did jump just like, like, we're talking like milliseconds, right? Just a little bit sooner, but in reality, it didn't matter. But what's the rule?
The leader must be the first one to go inside the restart zone. No matter what part of the restart zone it is, has to be the first one. Yeah, they've got the data, exactly.
They've got it. So, I find myself looking at this kind of stuff and thinking about it all the time. I think to myself, the inconsistencies are still not there, even after all the controversies this year, especially the crown jewels. What did we see at the Daytona 500?
Yep.
What did we see now at the Brickyard 400?
That 600 got rained out too.
What did we see at the 600? You know what I mean? Like, there's just no freaking consistency. And honestly, a lot of this, I feel like, is on NASCAR. They build these rule packages that make it so subjective where, you know what, NASCAR can make the call. Well, then you get yourself put in situations where the fans start questioning everything, and then they get labeled as conspiracy theorists, and then they get outcasts, but NASCAR does it to themselves. I mean, is it hard to ask for consistency? Or, I don't know. I just, there's so many things here. Jay, I kind of like to bring up the blend line as well, coming off of pit road, where Chase Elliott didn't get a penalty, or did get a penalty. Brad Keselowski didn't. Kyle Larson didn't.
No, Brad did. Brad and Elliott got one.
Oh, Brad did?
And then Larson did not.
Okay, well, that makes it worse. That makes it even worse. Because Larson and Keselowski took the same exact line. Elliott took a little bit of a higher line, which, yes, he should have been penalized, and he was penalized. Keselowski was penalized, but Larson wasn't. There's SMT data showing that too. I mean, it's posted all over X. You can see it. And so, maybe I'll do some of my own due diligence and post it to the Discord after the podcast so everybody can see what I saw. But again, just to point at the inconsistencies of NASCAR, this is what we're dealing with. I think we're just dealing with a sanctioning body that, first off, doesn't care. Second off, I think whether you'd like to admit it or not, they can pick and choose winners.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, you
Not,
bring up
not
great
saying
points.
that. Also, not saying that Kyle Larson didn't deserve that win, because he was extremely fast. Blaney was extremely fast. But clean air is king as well. You know what I mean? Especially with these cars. So I'm not discrediting any of that. I'm just saying the inconsistencies that is just so apparent.
You bring up great points. My first thought here, though, is the penalties of the blend line with the Larson one that's circulating all over the interwebs. It's kind of kicking off this conspiracy theory was that, and then the restart, obviously. But the way I understood the rule, Tom, with the blend line was it had to be your tire was past the blend line. In the picture that I saw, which granted it's 1940s roll-up camera technology NASCAR uses, that shows these images, right? It looked like only his fender was over that blend line compared to Keselowski and Elliott where their tire went over the blend line. And that's my thought on that. But other than that, that doesn't really matter. That's subjective or whatever, objective, whatever, however you want to look at it, depending on what camp or fan base you're in, right? You're going to come up with that assumption. What really gets me, though, is we've seen this in other races benefiting certain drivers for years. Like, we've seen, there's so many times where your favorite driver was in the middle of a pit sequence, like let's say a Chase Elliott or a Joey Logano, a Denny Hamlin, whatever, the fan favorites, were in the middle of a pit sequence, and they let it stay green long enough for them to finish the cycle and cycle back to lead lap. And then we've seen situations where, let's say, for example, let's just throw a driver's name up: Justin Haley, Todd Gilliland, Carson Hocevar. Same scenario. They throw the caution immediately to trap them a lap down, not let the sequence finish out. We've seen this happen to favor certain drivers from the history of NASCAR. This has always happened. So the fact that people are going on saying, oh, those should get the benefit of the doubt, well, it's happened to your favorite driver too at some point. And I'm sure you're one of the your favorite driver is one of the big eight, So you've got no room to talk about this Larson incident to begin with, because if it was your driver in that situation, you would be saying the same thing Larson fans are saying right now. So I think that's just, it is what it is. And then to the consistency thing that you're talking about, Tom, I 100% agree. But what I've learned this year is that consistency in NASCAR is gone. It's dead. And for me to believe that we could ever see consistency or get mad that we don't see consistency anymore, I'm just burning and wasting energy on something that just is unnecessary at this point. It's never going to change. They've threw consistency out the window. I really think it was the spawn of the Gen 7 era. I think it really was. Maybe the restart zone thing. Because I know you remember this, Tom, but you remember back in the day, let's say the pole sitter had an infraction before the race, or in post-race or whatever, and post-qualifying, and the pole sitter had to go to the back of the field. What was the procedure to decide the front row? The row, whatever row he was in, moved up. And so your new pole sitter was your P3 guy, right? That was the way it was for years. For years, that was the procedure. On restarts, it was the same thing. If a leader got a penalty, boom. He went to the tail end along slide, the row moved up. It's always been like that. I think the problem is everybody's mad because Blaney didn't get the opportunity to pick the lane he wanted on that restart. But it's always been that way. And I think the reason that it becomes such a big issue is because of this choose cone. The choose cone, he made his bed and he had to lay in it. He picked the outside line. Regardless of whether Keselowski's going to make it to the end on fuel or not, he chose the outside line. He could have chose the inside line. There's nothing that told him he couldn't choose it. He chose the outside line, and unfortunately, Larson moved up. And I don't think that restart was jumped at all. I mean, the SMT data, right, like you said, we're splitting hairs, right? He might have went just that much sooner. Who knows, right? Well, we do know. He did go that much sooner. But in live action, live TV, Blaney's the control car in that scenario because he becomes P1. But if you go by the rules that have been established for the last 25 years of NASCAR, Larson would have been the control of that restart because he is now your new leader. So we're splitting hairs on a rule that NASCAR backed themselves into. NASCAR created this choose cone thing, created this because the fans wanted it. And now NASCAR tries to do their best to work through the scenarios they have to create to please the fans, and then the fans whine about it. Doesn't this sound like a broken record? This sounds like everything that's ever happened in NASCAR. The same old crap. The fans are always going to find something to bitch and moan about and whine about because they want something, and then when they get it, they get butthurt because they have it. That's how I feel about this whole scenario, Tom.
You know the solution to that? You watch the Xfinity series.
Yes. Facts.
Just
Facts.
saying.
Xfinity series is the best series. I'm gonna die on that hill. I will.
Yep.
It is. And if you're not watching the Xfinity series, well, I don't know what to tell you. I don't know what to tell you. You can keep bitching about the Cup series. I don't care. Keep doing it because the Xfinity series is absolutely mint. There hasn't been an Xfinity series race this year that wasn't must-watch TV. And I think the CW, they see this. These aren't stupid people running these networks. They saw this. They know what's going on with the Xfinity series. And they're like, you know what? The way the Cup series is going, we don't want that. We want the Xfinity package. That's what we want. We want to put that on primetime Saturday TV right there. Boom.
Cheaper and better racing.
Better racing. Exactly. And you know how many people are going to be tuning into the CW? Everybody, the freaking antenna sticks got the CW. You know how many people are going to be watching? People are going to be watching that and thinking it's the Cup Series. And then people are like, oh, well, NASCAR's not going to have a product if they don't come up with a charter agreement, blah, 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 blah. Well, guess what? What's going to happen? They're going to move the Xfinity Series to be the Cup Series. And that's what they're going to do. That'll be the workaround. And guess what? It's going to be better. It's going to be better. And it's going to be freaking awesome. And we don't need the Cup Series. We don't need those freaking broke owners.
Yeah. Exactly.
Oh, man. All right. Yeah. So Larson ends up winning the race. I guess the last bit of consistency, controversy. The Ryan Preece spin, final lap, no caution. Then they threw the caution after the light. I think this is the way it should be done every time, in my opinion. And the reason I say that is because they throw a caution there. How many more overtime restarts do we get? Like 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 10, you know? And then NASCAR fans will bitch about that. They're going to bitch when we get a race that ends under yellow and we don't have to let it run 15 hours longer with a Mickey Mouse winner. But yet they're going to also bitch because we end under yellow. There's no winning. There's no winning with NASCAR fans. There is none. I think that NASCAR tried to give him ample amount of time to restart the car, and they did. But then again, it goes back to consistency. We throw a caution because somebody touches the wall, just kisses the wall a little bit in the middle of a pit sequence. But at the end of a race, we don't throw a caution when someone's trying to recycle the engine to get it to go on the inside. I mean, I don't know. I don't know. I just feel like the things that we've been saying for months and whatever, now people are clinging on to that and claiming it as their own ideas when we've been saying this forever. But whatever. We're just the Dega Boys. We're just about the idiots on the internet.
Hell yeah.
And I like it that way. Oh, man. All right, we'll go to the chat. Old one in the chat says, you guys were right. Xfinity is becoming my favorite. It's exciting. Yeah, it's the best series. I mean, I can't miss an Xfinity race. I can't. Like, it's literally my Saturday ritual. I'm like, what time's Xfinity race start? I'm watching it. And then Sunday, it's like, I'm going to watch IMSA or IndyCar or whatever. And then when that's done, then I'll flip over to the Cup race and watch the rest of it, you know? And that's what I did this weekend. I watched Toronto all the way from start to finish. And then I didn't get into the Cup race until stage 2, I think, is when the IndyCar race finally ended. So, yeah, that's just the way I feel. And that's the way it is. That's just the way, or as Tom would say, that's just the way the cookie crumbles.
That's right. Hell yeah.
All right, let's talk about the cut line real quick in the Cup Series before we get into Bonehead Driver of the Week. And then we'll get into our segment that we want to talk about here. Busher, 17 points on the cut line in 15th. Chastain, 7 points up in 16th from the cut line. And then Bubba Wallace closed it all the way down, 7 points behind Chastain, 17th in points. I think those are legitimately your three guys. With no new winners, I think those are your three guys battling for those two spots. I don't know if you agree or disagree, but I think unless Gibbs has more failures, I just don't see it. And Truex looks good to go. Even with more DNFs, I think he's fine. Even if new winners happen, I think Truex is fine. I think Truex will make it. Yeah, that's kind of what I think.
I'm just surprised that Chastain is in that position, honestly.
He wasn't like 4 weeks ago. I mean, it's been ever since that wreck at Nashville.
Yeah.
It fell apart. And I don't know if he's trying too hard. I don't know if the team pressure is getting to him. I don't know what it is. I have no idea. But that stinks for Chastain. I want to see him make the playoffs. And I think if he makes the playoffs, I think he can do a legitimate shot to move forward. But then this goes back to my point, Tom, that I've been saying forever. There's too many people in the playoffs for one. I think there's 6 people too many. I think it should be top 10 in points at the end of the year, regardless of wins. Because we got Cindric and Suarez are in the playoffs, and they're both outside the top 20 in points. What are we doing? What are we doing, NASCAR? Are those championship contenders? No. Cindric wins a race because his teammate runs out of gas on the last lap, and then Suarez wins a 3-wide photo finish that I think he lost, but your 1940s technology cameras couldn't pick it up right. So are those championship contenders, Tom? I don't think so. I think the top 10 in points at the end of the year, that's your championship contention right there. Go back to the chase. It was the most perfect system we had. And we got Game 7 moments in it. We had 2011 with Tony Stewart and Carl Edwards. We had 2008 with 3 guys eligible between Harvick, Hamlin, and Johnson. We had 2012 between Keselowski, Johnson, and Boyer. We had legitimate Final Four moments with 2 to 3 drivers in contention in the final race with the chase format. Why can't we go back to that? But I'm just barking up a tree. I don't know why I even brought that up. On other notes, there was a race that I watched on YouTube the other day. It was like 2010 IndyCar race at what was it? Was it Kansas? Chicagoland. On
that Sarah Fisher one?
No. Maybe it was 2011. It was the photo finish where Dixon won. Or no, Dixon didn't win. Rahal won. No? Not Rahal.
Not Rahal.
Ryan Briscoe won. In the 3-wide finish with Rahal and Dixon.
Yeah.
On the Versus Network. The Versus Network. What the hell is the Versus Network? Guess what? This was like 2011. And that shit was crystal freaking clear, man. They had a camera that zoomed in and followed them to the line, and then they froze it frame by frame in high definition, dude. It was perfect. It looked like they had HDMI on these things back in 2010, 2011, dude. What the hell is NASCAR doing? We're 13 years later, and we can't even get a camera to even detect the finish, and we had this technology, but better in 2011. 11! I honestly want to pull it up and show you guys how freaking perfect it was. I know YouTube will strike me down, though, but like, go look at it. Go watch the 2011 Chicagoland finish on the Versus Network and show me how awesome that camera work was in high definition. You could tell by the pixel who won that race. And we can't do that today. We can't do that today.
Too hard.
What? You got me messed up, man. I don't know. I had to get that off my chest, too. I watched that the other day, and I was like, holy cow, an absolute mesmeration. Like, what the hell is happening? We had that technology in 2011. We can't have that in 2024. Unbelievable. And that was the Versus Network. We're talking about Fox, NBC, like billion-dollar companies here, man. And they can't afford to get a camera that can show a high-resolution finish? But the Versus Network can? The Versus Net? What the hell is the Versus Network? Nobody knows what that is. Oh man. All right. It's time, Tom. Are you ready, dude? You ready? Our favorite the segment we're going to do right now is a segment that we did during the offseason. I believe it was podcast episode number 50, by the way. I compiled the clips of all of our bold predictions we made in the 2023-2024 offseason before the season. What we thought could and or would happen, just outlandish predictions. So I will bring that video up now for you guys. And we'll watch it together, and we'll go through some of them, see which ones are still open, and we'll talk about some of them. So, let's do it. Let me share my screen here. One second, ladies and gentlemen. Up full screen. All right, Tom. Whenever you're ready, man, let's get this going.
Send it.
Me and Tom are here tonight to give you our 10 bold predictions for the motorsports world this year, 2024 predictions that, and by bold, I don't mean something that could happen. This is just outlandish, the craziest things we could come up with.
My first prediction is Sheldon Creed wins at least 5 Xfinity races.
Oof.
All right, well, let's talk about that one. How many wins does Sheldon Creed have this year, Tom?
Big old goose egg.
That one's is still in play, but it's really not looking too good. How many second place finishes has he had this year, though? I mean, unbelievable
I think
amount.
it's 4, isn't it?
Yeah, 4 or 5, something like that. Yeah, and how many top 5s? Probably like 10, 11. We'll have to go back and look at the stats, but yeah, that was a good bold prediction, but it's definitely looking bolder and bolder by the week. So we'll see how that one goes here with Tom's. Oh man. All right, let's get.
I'm kind of going to go with my first prediction. I'm going to kind of piggyback off yours a little bit here because I believe that if Sheldon Creed does win at least 5 races, Sheldon Creed wins the 2024 NASCAR Xfinity Series Championship.
Oh, that one hurts.
Listen. I'd like to comment on that. Who was the last person to go winless in an entire season and then win the final race?
The Hack.
In the same exact car, by the way.
Yep. Daniel the Hack
That'd
Hemrick.
be Daniel the Hack Hemrick. It's possible. We'd have to start calling Sheldon Creed the Hack, though. You know how it goes.
Oh man.
You know how it goes.
He might be a hack. Who knows? We don't know yet. The jury's still out on that deal. But yeah, no, you're right. We could definitely see him win a championship without winning a race. It could happen. But I was basing that off of my tone there of that he would win the 5 races, Tom. So.
Yeah.
For both of our sakes, let's hope he can pull some magic out of his hand and start knocking some wins off.
Yeah.
All right. Let's get into number 2.
All right. I got I've got Oscar Piastri winning a Grand Prix.
Well, there's our first correct one. There it is.
Laugh about it now, motherfuckers. I did it.
Yeah, and that happened just 2 days ago. So Tom got one correct here on the offseason. Oscar Piastri is a winner.
Come on, baby. That's right.
Oh, that was bold too. Especially, let's put ourselves back in our off-season mindset. We did not know McLaren was going to be this good. So, like, in the off-season, this looked really bold. But as of the season progressing, it might not look that bold today. But I mean, who had McLaren being this good? Nobody.
Remember McLaren 2023? They were booty. They were terrible. They were terrible. Yeah.
Oh man. Alrighty, let's get into the next one.
I guess my second bold prediction here is I believe Charles Leclerc wins at least 2 Grand Prix this year.
Well, let's talk about it. He's got one. He won Monaco.
He's halfway there.
So
halfway there.
Can Ferrari turn it around though? We've seen Ferrari completely fall off a cliff. I mean, they're not terrible. They're still 5th, 6th every week, but
I say he wins Miami.
Well, Miami already happened, so That one.
I'm sorry, Vegas. I meant to say Vegas.
Yeah, I know you meant to say Vegas. I was just messing with you.
Yeah.
Yeah, he will win Vegas. He's gonna get redemption from last year when he should have won that race, in my opinion. So, I think you're right. I think he will win Vegas, and that'll secure that one for me. But as we're sitting, still in play. So we'll move on to the next one.
My third pick is Ricky Stenhouse. Old Ricky Spinhouse goes back-to-back Daytona 500 champion.
No, that
Bull,
was bold though.
big
bold.
rip in the chat on that one because that came and gone and didn't happen. So,
It was bold.
that was a very bold prediction.
Yeah.
Where did he finish this year's Daytona 500? Do you remember? I mean, he
One
didn't.
dog last.
Yeah,
Probably
one
not.
call.
Who knows?
Yeah, so there's a fail in the fail column right there. I think was that the first fail because the first one was Sheldon Creed. Those are both still in play.
Yep.
And then you were correct on your second one, and mine's still in play. That was the first fail right there.
Prediction number 3 for me is I believe Todd Gilliland wins his first career Cup Series race in 2024.
All right. Well, he's 20th in points. Well, in the playoff grid, he's a little higher than that in points. So if he's gonna make the playoffs, he's gonna have to win. What kind of races do we have coming up? We got Watkins Glen, we got Daytona, and not even just those. I mean, how consistent has he been this year? Very consistent. He got a 6th place finish this weekend. So I legitimately think this one could still happen, Tom.
Yeah, absolutely.
All right, so there's another one in play. We'll go on to the next ones.
I'm going to move on with my fourth pick. I'm going to go with the 01 Ganassi team, but more specifically, Sebastian Bourdais wins the IMSA GTP championship, the title.
Where are they in points?
Let's
They're
not
definitely
talk
not in the
about
top 3. They're
Okay.
but
It's a recovery year, okay?
it's a recovery. This one's still in play because he's not mathematically out yet. Ganassi's not out yet, but it's going to be an extremely tough climb back in the remainder of this season. We got what? The 6 hours of Indianapolis. We still got Petit. We still have, let's think. What else do we got? Where did Road America?
I'm gonna stay.
No, we got Road America still. They could win at Road America. They could totally win at Road America.
Yeah, I'm gonna stay optimistic here.
I agree. I think there's a chance they can make a comeback. With what we've seen so far this IMSA season, anything can happen. We've seen so much drama.
Yep.
That one right there, still in play.
Answer to this is for my fourth one. I believe that Lamborghini wins an IMSA race this year.
2 more. There's only 2 more
Do you-
chances.
Do you want to talk about it?
There's only 2 more chances. I got Indianapolis and Petit. That's it. They didn't win it at Sebring. Didn't win Daytona. Didn't win at Watkins Glen. There's only 2 more endurance races left.
Yep.
I think it's over. With what we've seen, I don't know though. If they could do what they did the first hour and a half at Le Mans, maybe they could bring that speed and manifest it into Indianapolis. You never know. I think this one's gonna be a lost cause. It's still in play though. Oh man! All right, let's move on to the next one.
So my fifth prediction is Chris Buescher making the Final Four.
So, we just looked at the points. He's 15th, 17 up from the cut line. Looking not so safe, but maybe more safe than Chastain at the moment. 4 races left in regular season. Barring no new winners, I think he'll still make it in on points. I think if I'm picking those 2 drivers out of those 3 that we talked about earlier to make the playoffs, I'm picking Buescher and I'm picking Wallace off of recent performance. So, if he can make the playoffs, can he make a run into the Final Four?
It's still in play, baby.
That's all he's gotta say. Oh man, I think it's 100% possible. We see it every year. One driver miraculously makes a run to the round of 8, and I think if you can make it to the round of 8, what are the tracks that are lined up for him in the round of 8? We have what? Martinsville, which I think is a perfect place for him to win because it's a flat track and Ford's been so good at the short flat tracks. And I think it's 100% possible that he can make it.
Yeah.
Still in play. I believe that NASCAR is going to announce sometime during this 2024 season that Rockingham is going to host the All-Star race for 2025. Still in play. The NASCAR schedule is officially not out yet. I'm gonna put this one as a wash. I don't think it's gonna happen. I really don't. I don't think North Wilkesboro is gonna see the light of day.
All you gotta do is pray to Dale Jesus.
Dale Jesus. Oh, Dale Jesus.
Yeah.
I honestly, in my mindset back then, I was like, North Wilkesboro is gonna be a failure in this All-Star race this year, which turned out to be a pretty decent race. We had the drama in the fight, and I think fans are gonna remember that more than the race, and they're gonna want it back.
Yeah. Who
So
won again?
Joey Logano, I think, right? Yeah. I think Wilkesboro will be back. The day he got off the milk carton. Yeah. So that was my thought process. North Wilkesboro was going to go because the fan reception was going to be terrible after this year, and they're going to replace it with Rockingham. But that doesn't look like it's going to happen. So it's still in play. NASCAR scheduling out. Oh, we're moving on.
And with that, I'm going to jump into my 6th pick, which is this is pretty bold. You ready for this? AJ Foyt Racing wins the Indy 500.
Oh, well, that's another fail.
Put it in the books.
Put it in the books. You had 2 chances, Tom.
I knew it wasn't gonna happen. That had to be the most bold right there.
If the Indy 500 was on Mars, you would have did it. I mean, we've seen Santino and Stingray signing up for the space program the last 2 weeks. So, I mean, but Indianapolis is in the Americas, in the United States of America, in the state of Indiana.
You know how you make throwaway accounts on social media?
Yeah.
Yeah, this was my throwaway pick. Throwaway bold prediction.
Oh man. Well, there you go. All right. Moving on to the next one. My prediction here, number 6 for me, is Scott Dixon goes winless in 2024.
R.I.P.
He's got 2 wins. So that's bad. Oh man. I don't know, man. I thought this would be a tough year for him. I really did in the offseason. But he has done nothing but prove that he is, as Tom says, the GOAT. And I agree 100%. He is not gonna go. He's not gonna pull a Kyle Busch and go winless one of the years of his career. So
The GOAT.
All right, next one.
You guys ready for another bold prediction? Extremely bold. I'm being generous here. All right? Very generous. Haley Deegan gets 3 top 5s in her rookie Xfinity season.
I
That
was
is
being generous. I was being generous. That's all I gotta say about it. You can move on.
Is it still in play though? I mean, technically, it's her rookie season's not over. I mean, she could still get a ride, right? Like it's not.
Who in their right freaking mind would take her?
I'm just trying to save face here a little bit, you know. Like I think it's still in play. Well, I think I put it as an asterisk. I think I don't. I'm not gonna say it's undetermined. It's not out of play, but it's also not failed. Let's put it right in the middle.
Okay.
Oh man, we're trying to gain some Haley Deegan fans tonight. Okay. All right, next one. I thought mine was pretty bold, which I'm going to go into next. I predict Haley Deegan wins an SRX race in 2024.
Oh, that's another big rip right there.
I forgot about that one. All right, to be fair, SRX didn't get announced to be canceled until after we made this video. So, to be fair, I kind of got screwed on this one. That one's a fail. Why did I even say that? Like, what the hell was I thinking?
I don't know. Is it any worse than she getting 3 top 5s in her rookie year?
I don't know, dude. Yeah, no, actually, that wasn't as bad as that. Oh man, how many top 5s does she have so far this year? Let's think about it real quick. Let's do the math. If you have 0 items in your hand, and you take away 0 items, how many items do you have?
What, are we using government math?
Yeah, we are actually.
That
I'll let
means
the audience decide on that
Oh, okay.
because everything could
That's a
be
good idea.
subjective. All right, I'll go to the chat. Olwen says, "You guys are having way too much fun. I love watching. It might be fun to watch her in F1." Can you imagine? Nothing can be worse than Logan Sargent, right?
When pigs freaking fly, that's when we'll see it.
Oh man, that'd be great. Can you imagine her in like
No, Logan Sargent would put her to shame.
Nicholas Latifi,
Old
Pastor
Goatee
Maldonado?
Oh yeah.
At least Maldonado won.
Yes.
That's the only
Yeah.
thing he can bank his entire life off of.
You could.
All right, so that was a fail and a maybe, I guess, or an asterisk because it's not out of play or it's not failed.
For my 8th prediction, I am going to put down that Will Power, who went winless in 2023, wins at least 2 races in 2024.
That's another correct one. He won at Road America and he won at Iowa. So boom, Tom has got 2 correct so far. Let's give it up to Tom.
That was a bold prediction too, because Will Power coming off of a win this season to get 2 wins already this year in an incredibly stout IndyCar field. I feel like that's one I could pat myself on the back for sure. If any of them.
I agree.
Well, you
That
know
was
what?
a bold one.
Maybe that one can cancel out Haley Deegan's one, and then I could feel okay about myself.
Yeah. Actually, I think that one like doubles Haley Deegan right there. I think he got a bunch of kudo points on that one. Alrighty. 8th prediction here is Ryan Blaney goes winless in 2024. A lot like Scott Dixon. I think he's going to go winless.
All right.
Wow. Not only did I say Dixon was going to go winless, I said the defending champion was going to go winless. I am terrible. Where did he win at again? Oh, yeah, that's right. He won at Iowa. Oh, man. And he won last week at Pocono. So not only did I say him and Dixon were going to go winless, they both have won 2 races. So nothing more I can say about that. I'm just, I completely missed that one. Big time. I doubted the GOAT and the past champion. All right, next one.
All right, for my 9th pick, I'm going to go. This one's pretty decently bold. Pierre Gasly wins a Grand Prix.
Yikes. Oh, that hurts. That hurts
Oh.
bad.
Well, let's take ourselves back into our off-season mindset here, Tom. Alpine was on the rise, right? Like they were competing on a regular basis. We saw Gasly and Ocon both get podiums last year. Both ran good in top 10 in points, basically a lot of races at the end of the year. We thought they were going to carry that momentum into 2024, and we have seen an absolute drop-off of performance from Alpine.
Disaster.
I mean, can you imagine being the French people right now? I mean, you got the Olympics coming that way, and then your F1 team is absolutely hit the shit can, dude. What the hell, man?
Dog water. Peugeot's dog water. I mean, their
Alpine.
flag is dog water. Might as well change it white.
They're freaking their lake or their pool or whatever that they're supposed to do the Olympic swimming in is dog water. Have you seen it, dude?
No.
It's like they were trying to clean it and it's freaking brown. Yeah.
Like my wife's fish tank.
Oh, dude, I don't know. I can't relate, but probably, maybe. I don't know. Go look it up, dude. They're doing protests and stuff in France right now over this water being brown because they're supposed to be swimming in it. Yeah.
Good for them.
Yeah, I would too. Well, what are you gonna do?
I'd probably go eat a croissant.
Croissant. Oh, baguette. Oh man. So yeah, that one's still in play, but it's gonna take a big turnaround in the final half of the year here for Alpine.
I'm gonna go back to IndyCar as well with my 9th prediction here. I believe, not willpower, I believe Scott McLaughlin wins the 2024 IndyCar Series Championship.
It's in play. But
It's in play.
imagine where he'd be at in points right now if St. Pete didn't happen. He didn't wreck himself at Laguna Seca and didn't get
His own
wrecked out this
teammate
weekend
did.
by willpower.
Yeah, his own teammate didn't screw him.
Yeah. I mean,
doing
that's
pretty
3 races worth of disqualifications or bad finishes and he's only what, 80 something points behind right now? Imagine where he'd be. Imagine where he'd be. Still in play. Very unlikely. All right. Next one.
Now, look, for my final pick, all right, I'm choosing this because of all of you Lulu believers out there, all right? I believe this is bold because of your community, all right? Lewis Hamilton goes winless for 3 years straight.
Ooh.
Oh,
That didn't happen. Oh, it looks so promising, dude, until the
It
turnaround of
did.
Mercedes and then the drive he put on at Silverstone. Oh, that one cuts deep because that one was realistically gonna happen, dude, for sure.
dang.
Oh man,
I was so close, man.
who would have thought
So
that
close.
Mercedes would have turned it up this year though? Like, I my off season, I literally said Mercedes was gonna be dog water this year. I literally did. Unbelievable.
I thought it was going to be roles reversed with Alpine and Mercedes.
Yeah.
Alpine would be winning races and Mercedes would be where Alpine's at right now.
I would have too. If there was somebody that put a bet in front of me during the offseason and says which team's going to perform better in 2024 on a regular basis, I would have put money on Alpine. Yeah, 100%. That's tough. That one cuts deep. Oh, that's another fail right there.
Yep, that's a fail.
All right. Last one.
I'll go back to Formula One with my final and 10th and last bold prediction for 2024. I believe, kind of going off of the Charles Leclerc winning 2 Grand Prix, I'm going to kind of bounce off that and also say that Ferrari wins the 2024 Formula One Constructors Championship.
All right.
It's
It's
in
in play.
in
They're
play.
67 points back in the constructors. Although McLaren has the best car on the grid right now, they've passed them in the constructors points. And unless we see a turnaround with Ferrari over the next few Grand Prix, I don't think that's going to happen. It's still in play, just very unlikely. I feel like at this point, unless Sainz and Leclerc and Ferrari, as a team, they just pull some crazy magic out of their hat. I don't know. We'll see. All right. Well, here's the overall total. I calculated up. Tom, he's got 2 correct, 3 failed, 4 in play, and then Deegan.
Cross it out.
I think that one's gonna be a fail, but it's not. It's not a fail, and it's not in play either. So it's like, where do you put it? 4th category. We'll just call that category Deegan.
Take it off the paper. Put it in the trash.
Scrap it. Restart again next year.
Yep.
All right, and then for me, I've got 0 correct, 3 failed, and 7 in play. So, if I could get 1 correct, dude, I'd be happy. And I think out of those ones, I think Leclerc winning 2 races is probably my best bet.
Yep.
I don't think McLaughlin's going to win the title. I don't think Ferrari's going to win constructors. Well, actually, I'm going to put Sheldon Creed up there. I think that one is a possibility too. I think for both of us. I think once Sheldon Creed wins 1 race, I think he's going to go on a tear. So that was that segment right there, ladies and gentlemen. So
I'll be right back, Jake.
yeah, for sure. I'm going to run our merch commercial for you guys real quick, and then we'll be right back with you. Alrighty, let me fix the cameras for you guys real quick. Boom. All right. Tom will be back with us here in a minute, but while he's gone, I am going to go over our driver and bonehead of the week segments or this week. For driver of the week, our nominees are Luke Fenhouse with the P7 finish in the truck series. What a great job he did there, coming from ARCA, making a truck start here with ThorSport, and brings it home in a solid P7 at IRP. Also, Daniel Dye, P7 in the Xfinity Series race, running for colleague on a limited schedule. I think it was a great performance by him, and I think that we're going to see a lot of great things out of Daniel Dye in the next few years. He's really impressing the hell out of me, so I'm going to nominate him. And then for the final driver of the week nominee, I'm going to give that to Todd Gillen. P6 in the Cup Series race this weekend. Just getting closer and closer to knocking on that door of his first career win. So great job by Todd Gillen. Boneheads of the week, I'm going to nominate Pato Ward for absolutely running out of talent, running P6, gaining points on the championship, and absolutely puts it in the wall there in the IndyCar race. Also going to nominate Will Power for wrecking Scott McLaughlin in the IndyCar race. I mean, you don't wreck a teammate, right? I mean, that's like the golden rule of motorsports, and he did it. And especially a teammate that's racing in the championship contention like you are, as Will Power. So, yeah, bad move. And then the next one, we didn't even talk about this in the recap for the Cup race, Tom, but I had to put this in there. John Hunter Nemechek's bad block on Daniel Hemrick. I mean, what the hell was he doing? What in the absolutely hell was he doing? That was the stupidest thing I've ever seen, man. I saw it live, and I was like, that guy is a freaking moron. And I didn't know who it was at the time, but I was like, whoever the hell that was stupid. Yeah, I did not like that. I thought that was a bad look. I mean, granted, yes, you get one block. But at some point, man, there's a block that's just stupid, and that was stupid. And not only that, he took out like 4 or 5 cars in
Wasn't that
hard
on a restart too?
Yeah, it was on a restart. Yeah.
I mean,
Not only did he block, he ended up lifting in the block. Like, if you're going to make a block, you can't lift, too. Like, you can't have it both ways. You can't have your cake and then smother your face in it, man. Like, that was terrible. So, yeah. Those would be our nominees this week for Bonehead of the Week. All right, Tom. Let's get into the final segment. We have a race this weekend. We do. We are on Olympic break, but we do have a race this weekend, and it is the Formula One Belgian Grand Prix. My pick for this weekend, Tom, and I'm going to say this purely for all of you Lando Norris crybaby sympathizers, moanbags, conspiracy theorists. I think he wins this weekend. I think he gets redemption. He gets a second Grand Prix victory. Then you guys can rest easy during the break and feel happy about yourselves. And you can continue to watch your TV with your jaw open. So, yes, Lando Norris is going to win this weekend at Spa. I think they're going to be, obviously, the fastest cars again. I think he qualifies on pole, and I think he's going to do some great things and manage this race, get preferred strategy like always. But this time he's not going to have to worry about giving the lead up to Piastri because he's going to have the lead early in this race. And then for my dark horse, Tom's been super high on him. I'm really starting to get really high on him as well. And a car that could succeed is the buy one get one free on these tracks that carry a lot of speed. And I think Yuki Tsunoda is legitimately going to do great in qualifying. I think he's going to qualify right there in the top 8, I believe. And then with that qualifying effort, I think that things are going to play well for him. And I think we could see him up there in like maybe 5th, 6th by the end of this race here, Tom. If strategy plays out right for him, I expect big things from Yuki Tsunoda in this race. I think that he's going to do some great things the rest of the season. And I think he is your dark horse as a potential guy that could maybe, if the stars align, could be your 8th winner this season in Formula One.
All right. For my favorite, I'm gonna go with Verstappen. Just because I honestly love to see you guys cry about it. I really do. And there's really no other reason. I mean, my favorite driver, Gasly, is not gonna do anything. So, let's go for the drama, baby. And then for my dark horse, like Jay said, I've been really high on this guy. I really do think Tsunoda is a tier A driver. I think he gets pushed down a lot by Helmut Marko and Christian Horner and all of them. I do think Sonoda is a great driver. I think he's had some bad stigma around him because of his first couple of races or first season in F1. But I really, if you guys feel different, I challenge you to really look at the performance of Sonoda this year and the turnaround that he's had. Even after having his job threatened multiple times, he came back better and stronger. And honestly, he should be wingman to Verstappen. Nobody else should be in that position except for Sonoda. So, but Sonoda, ultimate dark horse right now. Watch him win at Monza.
That'd be awesome. That'd be awesome, man. I love it. I think you're right. He should be wingman to Verstappen. Crown Jewel event in Formula One, the Belgian Grand Prix at Spa. Always a great race every year, or a marquee event every year. Let's say that. Fantasy for this weekend. My lineup is gonna be Verstappen, Piastri, Hulkenberg, Ocon, Sargent, and then I'm gonna take McLaren and Sauber as my manufacturers.
I changed mine. I had to. Like 300 points down, man. I had to. So I'm going to change mine with Leclerc and Piastri, keeping Hulkenberg and Magnussen, and then putting Tsunoda on there. And then for my constructors, I got Red Bull and Sauber.
There we go. That's our Formula One fantasy for this weekend's race at Spa. I'm super excited for this. It's the only race this weekend, so well, we got F2 as well. But you never know what you're gonna get with F2. It's always a shit show. So, or not a shit show, but a draw in the hat, throw at the dartboard blind. You never know what you're gonna get. But F1, can't wait. It's gonna be a great race. The only race this weekend. So super excited for that. We'll talk about that with you guys next weekend. Our next week's podcast. Also next week's podcast. We have two segment ideas that we're thinking about doing. One of them could be kind of what we did today, but with our hopes for 2024. We'll just go back and watch some of our potential hopes that we wanted to see for 2024 and see how those are panning out or how they're doing. The other one could be we come back next week and we could talk about some of our off-season predictions, like our championship favorites, our maybe race win predictions, some of our Crown Jewel winners, etc. that we did during the offseason. We had 4 independents podcasts, one dedicated to NASCAR, one IndyCar, one Formula One, and then one to IMSA and WEC. So we could do that next week. We'll talk about that here over the week, me and Tom, and we'll decide which one we want to do. We're probably going to do both of them since we are in the Olympic break and we'll have room to do both of them. So whatever one we do next week, we'll talk about it. It could be the hopes of 2024. It could be our 2024 motorsports predictions. So stay tuned. Come back next week. And then we'll also talk about this weekend's Belgian Grand Prix, of course. So can't wait to talk about racing with you guys next week. As far as that goes, though, this is going to wrap up the podcast for tonight. We went a lot longer than I think we predicted we were going to go, but there was a lot to talk about. It was an interesting week of racing here, Tom. It was fun. I enjoyed it. I had a great time watching the races this weekend. And then all of the drama conspiracies that we normally get to. Alrighty. Make sure you guys go follow us on all of our socials: X, Instagram, Facebook, Patreon, TikTok, and then also follow us on Kick. We have a Kick. We're streaming on Kick as well. I believe we're going to do some Kick exclusive streams here in the next few weeks. We keep saying that, but I think that it will happen. So make sure you guys go follow us on Kick if you're going to, or if you want to stay up to date with anything happening in the Dega Boys broadcasting platform. Also, go check out our Discord. Come join our Discord. The link is in the description of this video below. Join our Discord and come and interact with the best motorsports community on the internet. We got posted news, drama, rumors, pictures, all kinds of cool stuff is on here. That everything you need to know to keep up with the motorsports world. It's all on our Discord. Lots of people to interact with and talk to. So make sure you guys come join our Discord and be a part of this amazing motorsports community here on YouTube or on the internet. Let's say that. On the internet. Make sure you go check out our merch store. Go buy some nice Dega Boy swag. Big Daddy IMSA hat that I'm wearing right now. Go buy you one of those. Go buy you a shirt, a hat, a t-shirt, a hoodie, a water bottle, a bag, whatever it may be. We've got Big Daddy NASCAR stuff in there. We got Dega Boys merch, all kinds of cool stuff. All of those proceeds go back to help us make bigger and better content for you guys on YouTube. Tom, Thursday. What are we doing Thursday?
Oh, we got Road to Pro, baby, at Indianapolis. So we had a terrible race at Long Beach. I prepared a lot, but I just don't think I was in the right mindset. I thought we were running Indianapolis last week, but we aren't running it this week. So, we'll be here on Thursday, running that race, trying to get some good points finishes. So, RIP Long Beach.
Well, trophy hunting. That's what Tom said at the end of Long Beach. He said, we're going trophy hunting now. So, yes. Tune in on Thursday. Tom's going to be ripping around Indianapolis Motor Speedway. Was it 66 laps?
60.
60 laps. Okay, so 60 laps.
66.
I don't remember. You told me, and I can't remember now. But yeah, 60-ish laps around Indianapolis. It's going to be a lot of fun. So come cheer on Tom. Come cheer on your favorite YouTube or internet media motorsports personality on the internet. As he is going to try and continue his attempt to qualify for Road to Pro. It's gonna be a lot of fun. It's Indianapolis. Tom's really fast there. We did some practice sessions about a month or so ago, and by golly, did Tom run around circles around me there. Holy cow. So Tom's really good. So come tune in, enjoy that. We'll be streaming on Kick as well as YouTube. So come check that out and enjoy that with us as well. I believe that's everything, Tom. I mean, yeah. I think that's everything here for the podcast today. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. It was awesome to talk racing with you guys and enjoy, I guess, a little bit of your Olympic break. We do got fun this weekend, so make sure to tune in to watch that on Sunday. It's going to be a great race, and we'll be back to talk about all this fun, awesome racing stuff with you guys next Tuesday. But with that being said, this is the Full Send Half Mass Podcast, episode 80, being wrapped up here tonight on a Tuesday, and we'll catch y'all in the next one.
3 laps to go. Oscar Piastri can see Lando Norris going very slowly down the straight. Oscar Piastri takes the lead of this race, and that was the right thing to do.
Larson in front, Reddick running second. One more time around. And the 41 still isn't moving.
I don't see any way NASCAR lets them race by this.
And there's the caution. Larson's going to do it. Larson is going to win the Brickyard 400.